You ever just sit there staring at the screen wondering if the people who made this thing even understand what they made? Because The Last of Us Season 2, yeah, that same beautifully shot, heart-wrenchingly acted post-apocalyptic drama, just asked me to do something I will not do. It asked me to forgive the bigot. Yeah, that guy, Seth, the community bartender. The old man who saw two girls slow dancing, just swaying, just living, and decided that his personal apocalypse wasn't the infected or the militia or the shattered society. No, his apocalypse was two women kissing, and HBO wants me to believe he's a good guy now, that he just had a heated gamer moment. Are you kidding me? Let's rewind, because back in Season 1, The Last of Us was about the slow, brutal erosion of empathy, about love turning rotten, about what we'll do, who will burn just to protect our own. Powerful stuff. Then came Season 2, and with it that scene, that familiar moment ripped straight from the game. Ellie and Dina, holding each other, lost in the music, until he cuts in. He tells them to stop. They're in public. Harshy, sure, but reasonable, maybe, until the slur drops, until the venom comes out. And suddenly, it's not about rules or respect or community, it's about disgust. His disgust at them, and Joel punches him. Boom, righteous fury, heroic instinct. And then Ellie, she turns it on Joel. Not Seth, not the bigot, Joel, because how dare Joel think she can't handle herself? And that's good drama, conflict, emotional nuance. But then, oh then, we keep coming back to Seth. Episode 2, Episode 3, that old crusty man is suddenly everywhere. Not just mentioned, not just a background face. He's in it. He's part of the story now. And what does the show do? Does it make him reckon with his hate? Does it have Ellie confront him? Does Dina get a moment to speak her truth? No, he bakes a damn pie, gives it to Maria, and boom, redemption arc unlocked. He says sorry with flour and cinnamon and Ellie. She shakes his hand. End of arc. Roll credits. Are you serious? That's not a resolution. That's a narrative cop-out. That's a writer's room deciding, hey, what if the bigot is actually kind of sweet if you give him a chance? That's not bold. That's cowardice dressed in character work. And I'll tell you why this hits so hard. Because The Last of Us, as a franchise, is obsessed with group dynamics. Us vs. them, Fireflies vs. Fedra, Scars vs. Wolves, Jackson vs. everyone. Every single arc hinges on this. You find your tribe, you fight for them, and everyone else. They're just in the way. And yet somehow, this show wants me to believe that after society collapses, after the worst of us takes over, only one kind of hate survives. Not racism, not misogyny, just queerphobia. Laughs again, this time darker. Do you know what America looked like in 2003? That's when the outbreak happened. I was alive. I saw it. We weren't post-hate. We were deep in it. Women weren't safe. People of color weren't equal. Queer people, forget it. We were punching bags for politicians and punchlines for sitcoms. So now you want me to buy this world, this ultra-violent, hyper-militarized, back-to-zero society, where every single community accepts black leaders, female soldiers, interracial couples but not two girls dancing. It's lazy, it's selective, it's storytelling with blinders on. Because let's be honest, you can't model racism in a video game without getting pushback. You can't animate sexism without controversy. But queerphobia, that's just character development, right? The Last of Us wants the points for being progressive, but it won't do the work. It paints a world where the only visible prejudice is the one that aligns with the protagonist's arc. That's not world building, that's world manipulating. And sure, they'll argue, but look, Seth apologized. He baked a pie. That's healing. No, that's a band-aid on a bullet wound. That's not an apology, that's a narrative obligation. A checkmark in a column labeled closure. Because Ellie doesn't need closure with Seth. She owes him nothing. She doesn't have to forgive. And yet, the show frames her shaking his hand like some kind of emotional triumph. What am I supposed to take from that? That bigots are just misunderstood. That all it takes is a pie and a pat on the back to fix centuries of systemic hate. No, what I take from that moment is this. The writers didn't think about it. Not really. Not deeply. They thought about the beat, not the message. The arc, not the implication. They wanted to show Ellie growing by letting go of hate, but forgot to ask why she should have to. Meanwhile, the world crumbles. Whole communities fall. Infected roam. And every group, every gang, every faction is somehow racially progressive and gender inclusive. No white supremacy. No patriarchy. Just gay panic and power struggles. Come on. You want to imagine a better world after the fall. I'm here for that. I want that. I need that. But then don't give me a better world that only improved in 2 out of 3 ways. Don't tell me we fixed racism and sexism, but left homophobia as the dramatic spice. And for what? So Joel could punch someone. So Ellie could be mad. so Seth could get a redemption scene. If that's your idea of bold storytelling, I've got news. It's not bold. It's bias. You had a chance to build something truly inclusive. To say, in the face of the end, we found something better. But you blinked. You chickened out. You let hate back in the door, and then gave it a plate of cookies on the way out. So no, I won't clap. I won't cry. I won't forgive Seth, because he's not real. He's a tool, a symbol, and that makes what you chose to do with him all the more telling. He didn't just call Ellie a slur. You did, and then you told her to smile and shake your hand. I hope the pie was worth it.